You may have been in denial, but the snow is here and it's not going to let up for many, many hours to come. The impact on the morning commute and where as much as 5 inches could fall coming up right now on 12 News at 10.
Now on WISN 12 News.
And with the snow comes salt sticker shock.
It's about a 25% increase over a previous season.
Some municipalities say they could be paying up to $500,000 more for salt.
Breaking news, a deadline extension for those living in Milwaukee's tent city. Why the Department of Transportation says they won't be evicted just yet.
I have 3 snowblowers, and you can have your choice.
Okay.
And why this Milwaukee man gives snowblowers away for free.
Weather Watch 12 is all over southeast Wisconsin tonight, tracking Halloween Eve snow. Right now, here's a live look in Waukesha County. You can see the flakes flying there as the flags flap.
Same story in Franklin, a snowy night for soccer. Looks like they just wrapped up out there on the field. Feels like all tricks and no treats for Halloween this year. 3 communities are now postponing trick-or-treating because of the snow.
Take a look. The city of Kenosha and the villages of Summers and Bristol will now have it Saturday afternoon instead of tomorrow. If you're unsure of times in your area, we've posted the list online at WISN.com. And right now on the Doppler 12 radar, you can see exactly where the snow is falling.
Well, Mark, there is a winter weather advisory in effect right now.
And that doesn't happen very often in the month of October, but that's exactly what we're dealing with. This is just the beginning of the snow, and yes, it is going to be around for a while. So let's get right to it and talk about what's going to be happening here as we head throughout the night and into tomorrow as well. Live look outside. This is from Discovery World. 35 degrees in Milwaukee, so we're still above freezing. Many spots are not, though, if you're inland. No snow sticking here just yet, but it is starting to stick even on roads well inland. Take a look at the Doppler 12 radar network. A little bit heavier snow right now into parts of Jefferson County, Dodge County, extending up into Fond du Lac County. That is just the beginning of what's going to be a long night and a fair amount of tomorrow. We're going to have this snow sticking around. You can see there's plenty down to the south of us into parts of Illinois. That's going to work its way through. So coming up, we're talking about the timing, the totals, and the impacts, including the impacts on trick-or-treating. That's coming up in Weather Watch 12 in just a couple of minutes.
Mike, we'll see you then. Meantime, we are following breaking news from 47th and Vliet about what happened during a standoff with police tonight.
12 News' Matt Smith just got an update from police, and Matt, they say one person took his own life.
Patrick, this ends about a 4-hour standoff here in Milwaukee and begins a death investigation at this hour. As you mentioned, a believed suicide. Police were called here earlier this evening. They were tipped off that a 25-year-old man about a block behind me in the 1200 block of North 46th Street, they were tipped off that he was in a home, a wanted felon from Alabama with heinous crimes, police are describing it as, have committed in both Alabama and Ohio. They surrounded the home along 46th Street, gave him numerous commands to exit. He refused to exit, police say, over the course of the 4 hours. And it ended, officers say, when they heard a single gunshot wound. Here's Assistant Chief Michael Brunson just a few minutes ago.
After approximately 4 hours, officers that were outside of the residence heard a single gunshot. Upon checking that residence and clearing it, they found the individual inside deceased from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Homicide detectives are on scene at this hour. The investigation, they say, could take several hours, and this area continued to be blocked off for that period of time. Again, no danger to the public, officers are saying tonight. They believe a self-inflicted gunshot wound is what ended this 4-hour standoff along North 46th Street. Officers are not saying yet this evening how they were tipped off that a man believed for crimes in Alabama and Ohio was here in Milwaukee. Patrick.
Still an active scene. Matt Smith reporting live at Breaking News in Milwaukee tonight.
Back to our big story tonight. With the winter snow comes the big job of keeping streets clear, but there is some sticker shock about the high price of salt this year.
12 News' Ben Wagner is live in Waukesha tonight. Ben, that price spike comes at a cost for counties.
It does, Patrick and Joyce. We'll show you the conditions here in Waukesha tonight. This is certainly not what public works departments across our area want to see, but they say even with this early Halloween snow, they are ready here to hit the roads. It's one of Public Works Department's best weapons against snow and ice. But now the arsenal could cost more.
A lot.
Yeah, we're going from about $72 per ton to over $90 a ton.
Wow.
So it's a significant increase. It's about a 25% increase over a previous season.
Julie Anderson heads Racine County's Public Works Department. That 25% increase means salt could cost the county $500,000 more. The good news is they fully stocked 20,000 tons at a cheaper price, so they're hoping this pile lasts.
If we get several large snow events in the beginning of the year, we may need to buy the pricier salt, but we're prepared to do that, and we have budget money to do that. We just hope that this isn't Snowmageddon.
Prices are up across the state, but they vary based on the salt supplier, how much each county buys, and demand. For instance, in Waukesha County, prices are up about $4 per ton, which could cost about $120,000 more for salt. And with the potential for a white Halloween, many in charge of keeping the roads safe hope this isn't the start of a long winter.
Ben, what's the plan tonight? Are many areas planning to treat the roads?
Well, Patrick, we spoke to counties here across the area. They say that they are watching the snow as it moves in, but right now they don't plan to be out here tonight. They say the road temperatures are just too warm to cause really any issues. But among the counties we did talk to, they say that they are watching the situation again and will send trucks out if needed. They're especially looking at those bridges and overpasses here tonight. Patrick?
Ready to go if needed. Ben Wagner live in Waukesha tonight. And News Chopper 12 found workers in Waukesha building a massive new road salt super cube. It's going to hold about 15,000 tons of salt and will serve as a stockpile for the entire state. Crews hope to finish the building in December, but that is weather dependent.
More breaking news, a deadline extension for those living in Milwaukee's tent city. The State Department of Transportation confirmed to 12 News it needs more time to place people in permanent housing. The original eviction deadline was tomorrow for those living underneath the I-794 overpass downtown. That's when a construction project was supposed to begin. Last week, homeless outreach workers told 12 News they have found housing for 4 of the 60 people living there. 12 News is investigating a report from a New Mexico prison where authorities say Jake Patterson got into a fight. You may recall he's the man who kidnapped Jamie Kloss and killed her parents in Wisconsin. According to a report we obtained from the New Mexico Corrections Department, the incident happened in late August. It says video shows an inmate approach Patterson, and Patterson punched that inmate with a closed fist. Both ended up wrestling on the ground before a corrections officer fired a beanbag shot in the room to break up the pair. The report included these black and white photos of Patterson taken after the fight. They indicate he had redness on his forehead, hands, and the back of his neck.
Miller Coors will be no more. The worldwide beer company announced a name change today to Molson Coors. The company's Denver headquarters is closing and several hundred jobs are coming to Milwaukee. We asked what's happening to the signage and Miller label.
The name Miller, what happens to it?
The brands aren't going to change, no. And the brands are really our identity, right? And the Miller Lite, Miller High Life, those will be untouched.
The company says the move will help them save more than $150 million a year. Today, Miller Coors reported a third quarter loss of more than $400 million. Tonight, a man is accused of shooting his brother 12 times after an argument. That brother survived. A criminal complaint against 22-year-old Giovanni Walls says the shooting happened outside of the Milwaukee Food Mart on 29th and Clybourne last Saturday. It says 10 minutes after, Walls went in the store and told an employee to call 911. Police showed up and Walls turned himself in.
The suspected driver in a hit-and-run crash that killed 2 Milwaukee sisters appeared in court today, but prosecutors still have not charged Datewan Robinson. The court granted prosecutors more time to sort out what charges, if any, he'll face. 4-year-old Amia G. died last night from her injuries. Her 6-year-old sister, Lisa, died at the scene last Thursday. Police say the driver ran a red light that night, hitting the girls and their cousin. 12 News' Matt Smith talked to Milwaukee's police chief, who says there is no quick fix to solving the city's reckless driving problem.
As part of his reapplication process, a community conversation tonight with Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales.
You talked about reckless driving.
Who for the first time since last week's deadly hit and run spoke out at Marquette University Law School.
It's going to take a while to bring those problems back down. But these are the things that we have to continue to do.
Morales says the department is continuing to pursue an aggressive education campaign, enforcement, and working with DPW to see if any of the city's most dangerous intersections need to be engineered differently.
And if we can't get that message out to the public, we're missing the boat. That's everybody's responsibility to get that message out, not just police.
Morales left without taking questions. This as local lawmakers are asking for more state money for traffic enforcement, and the state legislature is considering whether to allow the city to install red light cameras. Assistant Chief Ray Banks.
If I knew the real cause of this, I'd be a millionaire. You know, there's no silver bullet fix to this, and that's why we're all strategizing and trying to come up with new ideas of how we can combat this problem.
It's Matt Smith reporting. The chief's contract is up at the end of the year. Tonight's event was requested by the Police and Fire Commission and included questions from the public. The commission has said it expects to have a decision by the end of this year about whether Morales will remain Milwaukee's chief.
This Halloween Eve, we're giving you a little something to think about.
Haunted Milwaukee. We'll take you to the spots around town where legend has it spirits tend to roam.
A brave Caroline Reinwald hits some of the city's haunted hotspots. You'll hear for yourself why so many people truly believe these places are haunted. Some of the locations might surprise you. We'll see you tomorrow on WISN 12 News at 10, if you dare.
Well, some might call the weather a little scary. Chief Meteorologist Mark Payton is back with us, and he's tracking a snowy Halloween.
And likely a record-setting Halloween snowfall. This will be one to remember. How much to expect where you live coming up next in Weather Watch 12.
Snowblower Samaritan. Next at 10, meet the man who fixes them up and gives them away, the one thing he asks for in return.
Also ahead, the 10-year-old called to court for jury duty. Why his father was not surprised.
And later, edible elegance. Why these models walk the runway in chocolate dresses.